Oh, nice.
This is so we mentioned the other day that, or we mentioned earlier in the program that Roy Moore's wife, Kayla, was out there making her final pitch to the Alabamians as to why Roy Moore should be senator. And, of course, her pitch was, he doesn't hate the Jews, believe us. But Bill Staehle, I may be mispronouncing his name, he's got another reason why you should vote Roy Moore, and that's because he hasn't molested all the children.
It seems a tough duty up there. I think we lost a couple of men. And when we came through our base camp...
Pause it for 1 second. I should just tell you, he served in Vietnam with Roy Moore, and he's telling a story of basically an R&R.
Some guy invited him and Roy out to some special club.
Okay, here it is.
Came through our base camp. He was introduced to Roy and me, and he said, "When are you out with you guys? Tonight, I had a couple of beers. My last night in Vietnam." He said, "Sure, we'll do that." He said, "I know a private club down in the city that we can go to." And he had been there longer than us, and so it seemed reasonable. There were legitimate private clubs down in the city of Da Nang. I know later in my tour, my colonel took me to one. So we went with him. We got in his Jeep. He drove. He knew where he was going. And he took us to this place, which turned out to be a brothel. We walked inside. I can tell you what I saw, but I don't want to. It was clear to us what kind of place it was. And Roy turned to me in less time than it took for someone to come up to us. And there were certainly pretty girls, and they were girls. They were young. Some were probably very young. I don't know. I don't remember that. I wasn't there long enough. Roy said to me, "We shouldn't be here. I'm leaving." Or words to that effect. In fact, I think those were his exact words. And I said, "Roy, I'm with you." I said, "Well, what do we do with the other guy?" And he said, "Well, he stays on his own." So we went up to him and we said, "Hey, let's get out of here. We're going back." He said, "No, it's my last night in Vietnam. I'm staying. I can get a ride back. Take my Jeep." And we did. Roy and I took his Jeep and drove back to the base camp.
Well, I just want to applaud Roy Moore. I think that is the fact that he... But you know, what the guy's not telling is that when Roy was going back in the Jeep, he said, "Now, why the hell would I pay for that when I can just go home to the mall? Fine young girls."
He's just not into Asian girls.
I mean, I think we've established that if a girl is working in a brothel, she's not his type at this point. She's...
Asian.
Hey, Roy, I got a
She's a little
perfect
geeked up.
idea of how to defend you from these accusations. Remember that one time we went to that brothel? I don't think you should
Oh
tell
my
that
God!
story.
Tell the brothel story.
No, but we just do a little change where we went home with the guy's Jeep before that.
We just do instead of having the best
Never mind
goddamn
that.
party of our lives.
It's like-
we went back in a Jeep because we were like, "Oh no, having sex with children is wrong and whatnot."
Well, I mean, let's just assume that they actually, that story
Nailed
is
it.
completely true. And this guy calls up Roy and says, "Roy, I think I know what you need. You need a story of a time that you did not molest a young child." And I have a story like that, and I'm proud to tell it because I think that proves that there was a time where you did not avail yourself of a young girl.
Yes, I did. I did ask some parents' permission to date girls in the Cabrini Green projects. But one time we're at incredible brothel in Kenya. It's unbelievable. The girls looked tremendous. They were young. Just like I like them.
But I mean, just
before
hold
I
on.
met Michelle.
I just want this to sink in for just 1 second. You have a candidate for the Senate of one of our major parties who is literally going out there and their sales pitch is, "I don't hate Jews. I have a Jewish lawyer. And here is an example of when I did not have sex with basically a child slave."
Now that
I mean, I'm going to assume if you're a young child and you're in a brothel in Vietnam that you are either you're not there by your own volition. If we include economic coercion, your parental coercion, I mean, I'm just going to make that assumption.
Straight up
And
kidnapping.
Yeah, I mean. And
Political
so
correctness.
the idea that those stories,
PC culture run amok.
those stories are coming to his rescue. I got a Jewish lawyer, and I didn't have sex with these children who were in forced prostitution. I'm certainly proud of my. Oh wait, but there's one more.
I always wore a rubber.
Wait, there's one more. To be fair to Roy Moore, let's do the full complement of the pitch that he wants to make to the Alabamian people. Here it is. Kayla gets up there. She didn't just stop at, not only, folks, does Roy Moore hire a Jew as a lawyer. He's got a Jew lawyer. He's also got a black guy.
Fake news would also have you think that my husband doesn't support the black community. Yeah. Yet my husband appointed the very first black marshal.
And the whole black community rejoiced. Thank you, Roy Moore.
Even Jeff Sessions is like, Roy, you couldn't put yourself together for at least one lawyer? It looks kind of bad, man. I mean, Jew lawyer, black marshal. I mean, even I am thinking you're not stepping out of a certain stereotyping, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Don't boo. Vote. I asked those girls, I said, any of you girls got
I
your
also
mom?
had, and people say the same thing about the Chinaman. But, hey, I have a Chinaman do my laundry.
No. That's fake news. Korea man does my laundry. Chinaman does my computer. And they say we're not friends of the Asian community.
Unbelievable.
I'd have one of them Gandhi Dindu fellas if they could teach my wife yoga if it wasn't a prayer to Satan. I found that out
Gandhi
recently.
Dindu?
Whatever.
All right.
I'm not up to date on South Asian slurs. I apologize. I should have gotten into character more.
Lastly, one more clip of. We got two more actually. This one is one more fun one. This is Fox and Friends sending down. Who's that guy that they send down? What's that dude's
Pete
name?
Hegseth.
Pete
This is a
Hegseth.
new guy. He kind of looks
Is he
like
a former football player or something like that, or?
Doesn't he look like the
vet
architect
or
of
something?
vote suppression in Kansas? Though?
Yeah, no, Chris Kobach.
He kind of looks like Chris Kobach to me.
So here is, they got Pete Hegseth going down to sit at a cafe. This is the old classic, the Heartland. They have cafes. We don't have any of these in New York. They don't have them because we're not in the Heartland. So it's fascinating to see this type of restaurant where they have seats and stuff. But here they are. They're talking to two Doug Jones supporters, a father and a son. Is that right? Is that what's going on here? And this is pretty awesome. It's fun to juxtapose the way that both these guys say, I'm not going to vote for Roy Moore.
Good morning, Ainsley. And that if there's one thing we've learned in the last year, it doesn't matter what the pundits think and the hosts think in New York City. What matters are what the people think and the voters on the ground think as they cast their ballot. A very consequential Senate vote here in Alabama today. Polls open in just a couple of hours. And we've got two tables. We've got a pretty mixed restaurant here. We've got your Doug Jones supporters and your Roy Moore supporters, who we're going to get to. First, we're talking to Dr. John Dixon and Webb here, both of which are supporting Doug Jones. Sir, if you would, tell me why you support him.
The issues are education, jobs, and health care. Doug Jones speaks to those routinely. Roy Moore is talking about that yearbook.
Now, he is talking about that yearbook, which means for the first time in generations, and maybe not generations, in a generation, this is a Senate seat Democrats could actually win. Is that why there's so much enthusiasm?
There's great support for Doug Jones for that reason. He's also a great candidate.
Got it. Webb, why do you support Doug Jones?
Even if I wasn't a far-left card-carrying member of the Democratic Socialists of America, I wouldn't vote for Roy Moore. Roy is a pedophile, and I don't think he's fit to be on an episode of Chapo Trap House, let alone the U.S. Senate.
So you're not mincing words this morning?
Not at all.
Not at all. So you've got a couple of Doug Jones supporters.
Oh, that kid's awesome.
Yes.
They better get him on that show. They get him on Chapo. Get him.
Flown in.
Get that kid on
jet
Chapo.
helicopter.
Go on Chapo.
That's pretty funny.
Well, you know what? That's kind of like the best.
So that's some sharp language there, pedophile. Well, I could have said that he tries to.
If his dad wasn't there, I think Hegseth would have maybe cut him off sooner. But you can't say like, "Why are you doing this, kid? Don't you
Right.
No, his dad,
weren't you raised right?"
That is a model of the liberal left alliance we need to build in this country.
That's right. Bring your dad along. They can't shut you up.
Exactly. You just need the dad to be like, the issues are expanding education, healthcare, and of course, women respecting women. And he's talking about being those yearbook photos, which is great, subtle shade.
Yes.
And that's great.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos